In this video, I will tell you about nursery rhymes, games, songs, accent correction, and how to properly speak to your kid. Accent correction. If you want to speak to your kid in a language which is not your native, but consider your current level enough to raise your kid, then you still may be worried about your pronunciation. It is important because kids pick up the subtlest details of parents' language. The topic is huge. You can read in details on my website. Here are just a few exercises to help. Master all the sounds of the target language separately. Use tongue twisters and read out loud. A separate subtopic is accent correction. In the description, you will find a Wikipedia article dedicated to different varieties of non-native English pronunciations. It will enlighten you about your pronunciation mistakes, so you will know what to correct. It's not that easy to master a native-like pronunciation, but it's real to start speaking correct language at a speed high enough to teach your baby after some training. Reading. It is the most important part of the multilingual education. Start from reading books in the third trimester of pregnancy. It sounds ridiculous, and I have already mentioned I had been skeptical to it before I did my research. Babies really start listening from the third trimester, and just a day after birth they can distinguish the stories they heard in womb from the new ones. And of course, they prefer the familiar ones. It also slightly affects the efficiency of language acquisition. So don't feel shy or embarrassed reading to your baby early. It feels weird just for a short time, but the results remain forever. And don't stop after the birth. Babies engage in adult activities so easily. The whole process of sitting down and reading prepares baby to future learning, develops concentration, and creates a lifelong habit. Do it for approximately 10 minutes, few times a day, depending on your baby's attention span, and increase it when possible. Don't rush to finish a book. The whole point is in the process of baby's enjoyment. Baby talk. Baby talk is a special way to speak to babies in many cultures. Many people say it is bad to speak with babies like this, but my research states otherwise. In experiments, links to which you can find on the Future Parenting website, it was proved that parentheses induces word recognition and memorization in infants. Babies as small as 2 days old always preferred baby talk to the usual adult speech. How to speak baby talk, or how it's scientifically called, parentheses. Easily, you just raise pitch, so your voice sounds higher, prolong vowels, and use short consonants. For example, baby. But be careful and do not use it all the time. Mix in the same words in usual adult-directed speech. Don't feel embarrassed to engage in meaningless conversations with your baby before he or she starts to talk, so they can get used to communication. As your child grows older, speak less and less parentheses until your kid starts speaking clearly. Videos. It's a great way to save yourself some time and expose your kid to a great variety of languages and regional accents, besides entertainment, of course. But how to organize watching videos? According to American Association of Pediatricians, it does not make sense to deprive your kids of screen time completely, since gadgets have become an integral part of our lives. It's recommended to start watching them together after 18 months, commenting and explaining at the same time. Videos are extremely helpful, but you must realize there should be limits. After a kid turns 3 or 4, the best way is to watch them together or conducting movie parties with kids' friends, followed by a discussion of characters, values, morals, and so on. Don't blindly delegate parenting to it. Nursery Rhymes. Nursery rhymes are a traditional way of native language development. You can use any classic nursery rhymes, and it's better if they include some finger play, which not only develops fine motor skills, but is also more engaging to babies and creates a funny daily routine. Songs. The best children's songs are those which are accompanied with videos and dances to boost kids' development. YouTube is full of them, but beware of weird content. And also, it's very useful to use songs which involve a certain category of vocabulary, like Head and Shoulders, teach about body parts, or numerous ABC songs which can also teach phonics. You can search for some situational songs, like lullabies, to implement going to bed routine. Commenting. It is very important for language development, because it helps create links between speech and real-life events. There are 3 intuitive types of commenting, describing what you are doing.
Okay, Sonny, let's look what we have for dinner. That'll do it.
What your kid is doing.
Johnny is playing with his train.
And what others are doing.
Look, Sonny, Mommy decided to learn cooking while on quarantine. No matter what the final result is, we'll have to pretend it's yummy.
What did you say? Come here.
Questions. Asking questions starts long before talking, because babies understand you to a certain extent before they learn to talk and even walk. For example, you can hold 2 toys and ask to point at one of them, encouraging with a smile and little praise in case of a successful answer. Don't ask too many questions. It overwhelms and stresses out kids. Follow a rule of thumb. Say 4 statements, as I mentioned in commenting, for each question you ask, and give them time to answer, dropping hints if it takes too long. Furthermore, you can use it to give choices during daily routines: which shirt to wear, which food to buy in a supermarket, which game to play, showing the kid that he or she has control. Games. They are an important tool that bonds parents and kids. Usually they are played no longer than 10-15 minutes, but it's not a big deal, since you will get tired much earlier than your kid. It's a perfect way to kill time in boring and exhausting situations, like waiting in line or sitting in public transport. As for now, these are all the activities I wanted to show you. For more information, visit my website and subscribe to stay tuned. On the website you can find more detailed information about all the activities I have just mentioned, and they will be regularly updated.